Well, here we are, episode 1, I'm just going to say 77. You know, it really doesn't matter at this point. Welcome back. In tonight's episode, more music news. I think that's the rabbit hole. Just me. Just little old me. Reading you the music news and giving my commentary. It is kind of fun. So sit back, relax, enjoy episode 177, and enjoy me reading you the news. Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
The KOFB studio presents Milk Crates and Turntables, a music discussion podcast hosted by Scott McLean. Now, let's talk music. Enjoy the show.
Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. I'm so glad we could attend. Come inside, come inside. Let me see if this is working. Let's see. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome back, my friends. To the show that never ends. I'm so glad we could attend. Come inside, come inside. Let me see if this is working. Last week, and there's that delay. Last week, it was 7 minutes of chaos. 7 minutes of chaos. But not this week. I got my shit together. I was on a 3-week hiatus, so what do you expect? But this week, coffee, hold on. So, we're streaming live right now over everything. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We're going to do the music news tonight. So, last week I had this thing with my background music. Let me see something. It just doesn't, it's an adjustment that I didn't really get to this week. So let's see if I made some adjustment. What's that? Let me see. Let's see if this plays right. It cuts out at a certain level. Like, it's supposed to be playing right now. Now it plays. But if I go to lower the volume, it doesn't do it. So you know what? Fuck the music. Good evening, Patty. Good evening. Let's see if my finely manicured Spotify playlist plays at a certain level. It doesn't. Okay. Let's see what that brings. Let me shut the ringer off because it'll start to ring. Busy guy. So yeah, let's get right into the music news this week. I have 5 stories. 5 stories that I'm going to read you, and 5 stories that will get my brilliant commentary. There we go. What do we got for the first story? Bring it up on the screen. All right. John Lydon, a.k.a. Johnny Rotten, says he'll never rejoin the woke Sex Pistols after dirty deeds. Okay, John Lydon is hit out at the Sex Pistols reunion again, saying he will never rejoin the band. Earlier this year, the former Pistols frontman criticized the reunion, with Frank Carter branding it karaoke. If you've ever seen an interview with Johnny Lydon, Johnny Rotten, the guy is surprisingly witty and very, very smart. He is the epitome of do not judge a book by its cover. because the guy, let me do something over here. Let me see. There we go. And he's never at a loss for words. So now in an interview with PA via The Independent, when asked if he would reunite with the band, Lydon said, "Never. Not after what I consider their dirty deeds. Let them wallow in Walt Disney woke expectations." Yikes. They've killed the content, or done their best to, and turned the whole thing into a rubbish childishness, and that's unacceptable. Turning it to rubbish childishness. I can't say that word for some strange reason. He added, "Sorry, I'm not going to give a helping hand to this any longer. As far as I'm concerned, I am the Pistols, and they're not." A lot of people would agree with that. He is the face of the group, and there are certain groups, and I've talked about this a lot on this podcast over the past, 177, 78, 79 episodes, that certain bands are known by their frontman. Their frontman is the band. Now, the musicians in the band are somewhat known, but for the most part, when we were growing up and you heard the Sex Pistols, you thought of two people, Johnny Rotten and Sid Vicious. Really, unless you were a hardcore fan. So he is the Pistols, like he says. The singer-songwriter previously fought a high-profile court battle against guitarist Steve Jones and drummer Paul Cook in a bid to stop their songs being used in a 2022 Disney Plus series of their story, Pistol, which was directed by Danny Boyle. Lydon eventually lost the case. That was a big deal. Yeah. On the Sex Pistols' current lineup, he added, they had to get Billy Idol last year, and now Mr. Carter, I'll get to him in a minute, to come in and listen to them, his lyrics for them, that's a clown circus at work. He made similar comments to NME earlier this year when asked whether he had had a chance to see the footage of the band performing live. No, but Mr. Carter has to follow in Billy Idol's footsteps, doesn't he? He said at the time, "Poor Billy. I saw some clips on YouTube and he's gasping for air. He can't sing my songs. No feelings is the great separator." Yeah. Speaking about his frustration with the band during the early days in the latest interview, he said, "I really wanted to experiment with the Pistols. I wrote Religion, which is a famous Pill song, Public Image Limited, his second band, while in the Pistols, but unfortunately they wouldn't go near it." Oh, you can say that. It's like, have you not heard everything I've been saying before? This is lightweight. That was frustrating, but I mean, again, I don't mean to be digging them out. It's not their fault that they're talentless and can't fucking move on, is it? As for me, variety is the spice of life. I love all forms of music, and I adore anyone that's got the balls to rehearse, play live, record, and then deal with the guillotine that's called the press. You should get medals for this. Never at a loss for words. The Pistols, who last performed with Lydon in 2008, headed out on a UK comeback tour last autumn, with Carter stepping in as frontman. This followed two intimate gigs at London's Bush Hall, where they played Never Mind the Bollocks in full. That's pretty much the album. They have since announced further live appearances for 2025, including Download Festival and the Teenage Cancer Trust Series at London's Royal Albert Hall. Additionally, guitarist Jones told NME that Sex Pistols would be hitting the road in the U.S. I don't know who would go see that. I can't imagine that the crowd is going to be big or not ridiculous looking. I mean, come on. These guys are in their late 70s. So who's going to go see them? Who's going to go see them? People in their late 60s? early 60s. And they're going to dress up like punks. Oh, look at me. I spiked my hair. I put a fake earring in my nose. I got makeup on. I got my wristbands with spikes on them. I got my studded leather belt, and I'm going to wear these leather pants that are too tight. And yeah, I'm gonna get all, hey, let's go like dress up like punks and go see the Sex Pistols. Good luck. I mean, maybe I would go to the show just to see that, just to see the ridiculousness of that, because people do that. They get all into it like, hey, let's get all punked out. Nah, no, don't, but do for the people that want to witness that circus. When asked about Lydon fronting the reunion, Jones recently told NME, John ain't interested in doing it. You think you're going to get a negative thing by doing it without him, but I'm surprised. There was no backlash whatsoever. There was a few diehards on Instagram, but they hadn't even seen us. They just can't see. They can't see it without John, which I get. But even the ones that came out of curiosity were into it after a couple of songs. When asked whether he would ever get back in touch with John Lydon, he responded, who knows? You never know. Pistols bassist Glenn Matlock, who recently spoke to NME about Lydon's previous comments on their current reunion, when it was put to him that Lydon was unhappy about their shows with Carter, saying they'd be bullocks, Matlock responded, well, he was wrong, wasn't he? Because they were good. John's made his bed. He can lie in it. He's happy doing his public image stuff. Good luck to him. It's not my thing, and I'm sure my thing isn't his thing. Well, interestingly enough, let's get back over here. It is his thing. It always was his thing. Always was his thing. Again, I wouldn't go see them. I was never a big Sex Pistols person anyways. I like a handful of songs, maybe 3 or 4 songs at the most. But I wasn't into that whole punk scene. All right, let's see something. Let's go here. Bring up the next story. Last week, this was kind of funk. This got a little funky on me. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's get this out of the way. So on to this guy. This guy. If this isn't a bunch of bullshit, I don't know what is. I really don't know. This is pure, as Johnny Rotten would say, bullocks. Bruce Springsteen to release 7 never heard before full records on tracks 2, the Lost albums. This is bullshit. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it for a second. Not for a second. That these albums were lost. They just got discovered. You know what? The guy has run his course. His relevancy is fading. He's not who he used to be. And this is a way to try to get back into relevancy. This is bullshit. No one has 7 lost albums, never heard before, full records. In other words, they were trash back in the day. That's what it was. They were absolute trash. Garbage. And now they go in and they put a little technology into them and they dust them off and they bring them out. They're like, hey, let's just put them all together. You know, these 7 never heard before full records. No, not buying that. It just, but people will. They'll buy it and they'll pay whatever they're going to charge for this fucking thing. Figure 7 records. It's going to be over $200 a fucking box set. I don't see it being any less than that. And what are you going to hear? You're going to hear nothing. You're going to hear nothing good that's just been touched up, like I said, with technology. Let's see where this goes. And I haven't read this article, so I'm getting ahead of it. So Bruce Springsteen is set to release 7 never heard before full records on Tracks 2, The Lost Albums. The collection, which arrives on June 27th, will feature 7 previously unheard Springsteen albums. You can pre-order them here. I don't even want to go there. The collection, well, maybe I'll do it after I read the article. The collection, which spans a massive 83 songs, is said to fill in rich chapters of Springsteen's expansive career timeline, while offering invaluable insight into his life and work as an artist, according to a press release, of course. Robert Kirkman in the comments says, fuck Bruce. I think there's a lot of people that have that sentiment. In a statement, Springsteen said, it's exactly what he said. It's exactly how he sounded when he said what he said. I'm just kidding. In a statement, Bruce Springsteen said, the Lost Albums were full records, some of them even to the point of being mixed and not released. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe because he sold his other library of records. He sold all his whole recording library. Maybe these weren't included. Maybe these are the holdouts. See, it's nothing sounds right about this. I've played this music to myself and often close friends for years now. I'm glad you'll get a chance to finally hear them. I hope you enjoy them. Get this fucking guy. One of the collections is described as lo-fi exploration of LA garage sessions in '83. And serves as a crucial link between Nebraska and Born in the USA. To the drum loop and synthesizer sounds of Streets of Philadelphia sessions, the Lost Albums offer unprecedented context into 35 prolific years from '83 to 2018 of Springsteen's songwriting and home recording. Springsteen elaborated further, saying, the ability to record at home whenever I wanted allowed me to go into a wide variety of different musical directions. That was garbage. Absolute garbage. I'm telling you, I can't wait till this shit comes out on, like, someone puts it out on Spotify and you can hear the garbage that it is. This is going to be like the new Snow White movie. It's going to be a bomb. It's definitely going to be a bomb. This other collections on there, include a soundtrack via Faithless for a movie that was never made. There you go. Along with country-themed collection titled Somewhere North of Nashville. Oh, boy. Others, the press statement adds, include orchestra-driven and mid-century noir. Oh, this kid's got to be fucking... This is more than garbage now. This is a dumpster fire. Like, who is going to listen to this shit? This is, you know what this is? He admitted it. This is him fucking sitting in his living room and just playing this shit. Fucking orchestra-driven mid-century noir. Who wants to hear that shit? Like, who wants to hear that? Who wants to hear Bruce Springsteen do that? In the country theme collection, anybody can, any rock star can turn around and do fucking country. Just, I mean, boy. Yeah. That fucking mess. Another of the Lost Albums, called Perfect World, is introduced with a new track, Rain in the River, which you can listen to below, together with a video about the collection for Springsteen. All right, let's see this. I'm going to play it. I don't know if it's going to come through. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble. Let's see. Let's see what it sounds like. No. That's nope. Nope. The collection will arrive via limited edition 9 LP, 7 CD, and digital formats, including distinctive packaging for each previously unreleased record, with a 100-page cloth-bound hardcover book that nobody fucking looks at anymore. In other words, it's a fucking coffee table book. That's all it is. Featuring rare archival photos that will all be available online about a week after the fucking this $250 box set goes on sale. Liner notes on each lost album, they keep saying lost album, from essayist Eric Flanagan. Oh, okay. Liner notes from an essayist. What the fuck? And a personal introduction on the project from Springsteen himself. My records. That's it. According to a statement, there is also a companion set called Lost and Found, selections from the Lost albums that will feature 20 highlights from across the collection. Oh, boy. And they list off 20 songs that no one's ever fucking heard about. Nobody. Tracks to the Lost albums, the LA Garage Sessions 83, Streets of Philadelphia Sessions. In other words, this is all the shit that one song from the Streets of Philadelphia or whatever he had done. This is all the shit that didn't make it. Faithless, then Somewhere North of Nashville, Inyo. Oh, I could go in about 10 directions with that name. Inyo. Fill in the blank. You can stick this 7-record Lost record collection in your ass, Bruce Springsteen. That's what I say. Twilight Hours. Perfect World. Whew. No. Let me see. What do we got here? This isn't in a continuation. Steve Jordan and other news, adolescents. All right. Yeah, we're done with that one. Good Lord. All right. What do we got next? Let me get rid of this. I saw the headline, and again, I'm reading these for the first time so I can give you a fresh take on what I think of whatever the article is. So let's get rid of that. Bring me back up on the screen. I'm going to have some coffee. Let me see. Patty Yasi says, sounds horrible. Yep. Steve Stevens, I lost a Springsteen album that somebody gave me in the 80s. I never looked for it. Wait a minute. That one, I think that was it. That is the comment of the night right there. And I repeat, Steve Stevens, I lost a Springsteen album that somebody gave me in the 80s. I never looked for it. I love that. Okay. I have my Vets Connection podcast coffee mug. Yeah. Vets Connection podcast doing very well. And on the other side, my foundation, the One Man, One Mic Foundation. There we go. Teaching veterans how to podcast and the art and science of storytelling, which is doing pretty well. It's keeping me busy. Working with the veterans, that's my, that's for the rest of my life. So anyway, enough about me. Back to the show. All right, let me see. There you go over here. Delete this. Let's bring it up this way. All right, let's see. Let's see what story we have next. Sharon Osbourne is open to Black Sabbath ABBA-style hologram show. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Just based on Steve Stevens says a noble foundation indeed. Yes, it is. Just based on this headline. Now, I'm sure you've all heard of the ABBA hologram show, and technology's getting better, and these shows like that. I mean, I would go see that just to see how it looks, and the sound is going to be great, and ABBA is no longer a guilty pleasure for people. People that are, let's say baby boomers at this point, have no problem saying they like ABBA, if they like ABBA. They really don't have any problem saying it. 30 years ago, never. That's the shit you listen to in your car by yourself. Like you and your friend going to a bar, you're not playing fucking ABBA. You be listening to the radio, it comes on, you're like, what this shit? Get this shit off. But in your head, you're like, if you change my mind, you can take your time, take a chance on me. We all know. So let's see. Sharon Osbourne is open. Would you see a Black Sabbath hologram show? I mean, if you think about it, they weren't like a Motley Crue or like, I don't know, a band that was all over the place that would be hard to follow. They pretty much stayed right where they were on stage. Now the Cars would be a good hologram show. Because they just fucking stood there, literally. That was a boring band to see in concert. I've said that 100 times. Sharon Osbourne is open to Black Sabbath ABBA-style hologram show. Sharon Osbourne has said that she's open to the idea of Black Sabbath. Let me see if this does it. There we go. The idea of Black Sabbath hologram show in the future. And where did I go? Okay. The legendary heavy metal band will be reuniting for one final live concert at Villa Park in their hometown of Birmingham on Saturday, July 5th. The gig will see the group's most iconic lineup comprising frontman Ozzy Osbourne, guitarist Tony Iommi, bassist Geezer Butler, and drummer Bill Ward play on stage together for the first time in 2 decades. There's also a stacked lineup of other major acts set to perform at the event dubbed Back to the Beginning. These include Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Alice in Chains, Gojira. I saw them back up Korn about 6-7 months ago. And my critique on them were they're very, very, they're like metal. They're almost like death metal. And the first 3 songs were good, and then the rest sounded just like the first 3 songs. So that's what you get with them. Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corrigan, Slash, Duff McKagan of Guns N' Roses, and my boys, Korn. Now that sounds like it's going to be a great show. Additionally, Tom Morello will be performing and serving as the show's musical director. In February, Guns N' Roses, Tool, and more were added to the bill. Speaking of Metal Hammer magazine, which I don't know where that came from, Ozzy's wife and manager asked if she would ever consider an ABBA Voyage-style return for Sabbath. Sure, I would. Yeah, Sharon responded. I mean, if they get paid, she'll do it. She will do it. Technology keeps moving on. You can do incredible things now. So what you can do in 5 years will be even better. You never know what the opportunities are to get paid. As for the return of drummer Ward, who did not participate in Sabbath's farewell tour, The End in 2016-17, again, like Kiss, like I talked about last week. Yeah. Oh, farewell tour. This is the final tour. This is the tour. That's it. This is the last one. And then Kiss goes, yeah, we're going to be playing in Vegas. And, Sharon told the publication, Bill has always been fantastic with Ozzy. I always say they've got that invisible connection between the four of them, and he's going to be there, which is amazing. She added, I'm not going to bullshit you and say we're the best of friends. We're not. We are such different people, but I respect Bill so much, and I'm so happy that he's agreed to come for the band and for the fans. And the payday, cha-ching. Good for him. Make that money when you're 80. It was recently reported that Ozzy was back in the gym in preparation for the last ever Black Sabbath gig. Good for him. He's all fucked up. Ozzy's all fucked up. It's hard to not like the guy. No matter what, it's hard to not like him. You've never heard him say anything derogatory, anything bad. It was his actions that got him his reputation, not his words, not his mouth. Steve Stevens, Gojira sounds like a Japanese person trying to pronounce Godzilla. You know what? It sounded like that when I first heard it too. Well, Godzilla's name in Japanese is, isn't it like Gojira? Something like that. Maybe that is it. Let's see. Here we go. His longtime collaborator and guitarist, Zakk Wylde, has since teased that the Prince of Darkness may perform from a throne that flies over the stadium at the concert. Earlier, Ozzy told fans that he would only be doing little bits and pieces with Sabbath at the massive date amid his health issues. I'm doing what I can where I feel comfortable. You know his adrenaline is going to kick in. There's no doubt his adrenaline will kick in, and he'll do probably more than he thinks he'll do. I'm trying to get back on my feet. When you get up in the morning, you just jump out of bed. I have to balance myself. But I'm not dead. I'm still active and doing things. Good for him. This came after Ozzy revealed that now he can't walk as a result of Parkinson's disease. However, his wife and manager Sharon has assured fans that his illness doesn't affect his voice. That flying throne would be pretty interesting, actually. Be pretty interesting. When speaking to NME alongside Tony Iommi at Villa Park, Sharon explained that her husband was doing really great at the moment. She told us that Ozzy was feeling very emotional about the final Sabbath show and that it was what he wants. He wants to say thank you to everybody. Sharon continued, he didn't have that chance because of his illness, but now he does have that chance. Yes, he does. Speaking further about Ozzy's health, she added he's got Parkinson's, which we all know, but he's great and it doesn't affect his voice. Iommi then told NME that the Sabbath gig would do him good, explaining that's what it's all about. He wants to get out and do something. Sharon said he feels like he's never had a chance to thank the fans to say thank you for this unbelievable life. Elsewhere in NME's interview, Sharon said that the concert would be just about celebrating the old music that still lives on rather than Black Sabbath releasing any new music to coincide with the date. And definitely don't do any of that fucking Dio trash. Fucking Dio. You know... I've said this before. I'll say it again. Steve Stevens says, I saw the last two final Sabbath shows. He's on a roll tonight. The last two final Sabbath shows. You know, this whole Dio experiment was a fuck. That Black and Blue tour, that concert was the worst concert I've ever been to. I mean, Blue Oyster Cult played, I don't know, they played Godzilla, speaking of Godzilla. And, Don't Fear the Reaper, and there was a couple, maybe one or two, I'm Burning for You, and, whatever. But then fucking Dio came out with Black Sabbath, and it was like, what the fuck is this? Like, worst concert I've ever been to. Great name, fucking great name for a tour. Worst concert I've ever been to. So they're not doing any Dio shit, thank God. Not that Ozzy would want to do that anyways. Let's see. You get to a stage in your career, whatever you do just doesn't stand up to what you did before. To be able to rest on your laurels and say people still love that and it's still selling and we can't do better than what we've done, that's enough. Sharon said this is a celebration of the genre and the pioneers who started it, yep, and passed it on to all these bands. Usually this thing is done when you're dead. That's a great point. That is a great point right there. Why didn't I think of that? Yeah, these tributes are usually done like after the fact. So it's nice that these guys can be alive to be appreciated. Iomi added, I was just thinking that. We're having it before we go now. See, Sharon brought it into everybody. There you go. Good job, Sharon. I always liked her. She, I guess, evidently is a fucking handful sometimes, but I not that I know her. Man, talking like I've met her. In other news, we're not going to talk about other news. So again, I would probably, just out of curiosity, how's this? I would go see a Black Sabbath virtual reality hologram show before I went to see this version of the Sex Pistols live. How's that? Referring to the previous article, one of the previous articles. Yeah, that's where I'd go with that. All right, let's get rid of that one. Time for some more coffee. Iced coffee only. Iced coffee only. Oh, this next one is a little touchy. Little touchy. Let's see where we go with this. There we go. This shit never gets old. This shit never. It's now. With that said, all of this is unfortunate for the victims. I just want to say that. The victims in this, and there's many. The shit that doesn't, and it's, you know, it's tragic. It's tragic. In all honesty, all joking aside. The shit that doesn't get old is new lawsuit accuses Diddy of human trafficking. Claims Beyonce, Jay-Z, LeBron James, who's right there on video saying, ain't no party like a Diddy party. That piece of shit. And he is a piece of shit, LeBron James. Witnessed victim after assault. I'm sure they did. The alleged freak-off incident took place at a party in 2015, and the rapper's team have denied the allegations. A new lawsuit has been filed against Sean Diddy Combs, accusing him of human trafficking. The allegations were put forward by a Florida man called Joseph Manzaro, who alleges that the rapper assaulted and humiliated him. I bet you didn't see that coming. It's a guy. But we all know that Diddy was gay anyways. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Thank God Seinfeld came out with that. That whole, not that there's anything wrong with that. Steve Stevens, got to check out. All right, buddy. Love you, my friend. Steve Stevens helped me out quite a bit when I was getting my father's affairs in order a couple of weeks back, a month or so back. And I love him and appreciate him. Been friends for a long time. So thanks for checking in, Steve Stevens. All right, the allegations were put forward by a Florida man called Joseph Manzaro, who alleges that the rapper assaulted and humiliated him at an event in 2015, and that he was seen on the night by Beyonce, Jay-Z, and LeBron James, who all say, we never been there. We never did that. No. According to the filing, the alleged incident took place during a birthday party held by Diddy for his son, Christian Combs. Manzaro claims he was drugged and transported to Star Island in Miami for the party before being involved in a freak-off. Oh, here we go. Let's get into the minutia of this whole thing. He says in the claim that the rapper and business mogul humiliated him by strapping a penis to his face and parading him around. I can't even joke about that. That's just fucking demented. As reported by TMZ, Manzaro claims he was led through a secret tunnel in Diddy's home and was noticed by Beyonce and Jay-Z. He says Beyonce asked, "What's this? What's this all about? Why is this half-naked white man with a cock mask standing around here in front of me?" While a member of Diddy's entourage allegedly replied, "Diddy wants him to see what we do to snitches. This is part of his punishment." Hey. I wonder if we'll get to that. He says he was forcibly paraded around, forced to wear a small thong and a black leather mask with a rubber attachment, and subjected to non-consensual acts. Others, he claims, saw him at the event were Gloria Estefan and her husband Emilio, LeBron James, and celebrity jeweler Jacob Arabo, which this all makes sense. With the lawsuit, Manzaro was not suing Jay-Z, Beyonce, LeBron James, or Jacob Arabo. He is suing Diddy, Emilio Estefan, who he says stopped him from receiving medical care, Adria English, who he claims ushered him into the event, and Brendan Paul, who he claims helped Diddy drug him. It is worth noting that the outlets, including TMZ, have reported that Jay-Z was in New York City on the date of the alleged incident. Doesn't mean you can't fly back and forth. It's only on a jet, it's like 2.5 hours. Additionally, Combs' legal team denied the claims in a statement to TMZ. Of course they did. This complaint demonstrates the depraved lengths plaintiffs will travel to garner headlines in pursuit of a payday. It read, "No sane person reading this complaint could credit this story. Mr. Combs looks forward to having his day in court where these lies and the perverse motives of those who told them will be revealed." Now, this makes me even more happy that I'm retired, because I watched that whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, and I don't really watch those things. That was fascinating. That was fucking fascinating. It was insane. This trial, oh boy, I will be up in the morning. I'll have my fucking coffee. I might take a week off from my podcast, from my foundation. I might just take time just to watch this shit. This is going to be some riveting TV. Let me see. A representative for Gloria and Emilio Estefan told TMZ Gloria and Emilio Estefan strongly deny the allegations made. Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? We have all necessary documentation to support these facts and will provide it into the court. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Patty's going to watch it too. Steve Stevens, keep on podcasting. You are credible. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, we have all the necessary documentation that we fucking are forging right now because we got blamed. Now, there's this. If there's video, if they got video from that place, if they supposedly got everything, the FBI went in there and they took everything, computers, cameras, everything. So there just might be video that they're there. That might be one of the things. We'll see. An attorney for Brendan Paul told the outlet the allegations against Brendan are 100% false and literally impossible to have occurred. Brendan was still in high school in Ohio at the time, having never even set foot in West Palm Beach in his life. Brendan Paul is one of the people he's the one that's getting blamed for drugging the victim. Similarly, a spokesman for LeBron James said, "This is demonstrably false. Well, LeBron didn't say that. I don't think he knows what that word even means. This is demonstrably false and doesn't even merit a report or response. A basic internet search shows LeBron was doing all of April. What was doing all of April 2015? He was playing basketball for the Cleveland Cavaliers and never in Miami. So, well, let's see. Let's see. The guy. So why would the guy come up and just make these dates up? That's the thing. And basketball stars, football stars, hockey players, baseball players, they have been known to play a game and then fly somewhere, go to a party. You got the money, you got the jet. If you're only an hour away, maybe they were playing the Atlanta Hawks. Dude flies down to Miami, then meets the team the next day, does his thing, meets the team the next game. Maybe they were off the next day. There's so many ways this could happen. The news of the accusations comes just days after a separate one of Diddy's sexual assault lawsuits was dismissed on Monday. Claims of sexual trafficking against Combs and former Chief of Staff Christina Coram, as well as sexual assault and premises liability claims against Combs have been upheld, however. Let me say that again. Claims of sex trafficking against Combs, as well as sexual assault and premise liability claims against Combs have been upheld, however. Okay. So sex trafficking is still on the table. An attorney for Combs said Jones' reckless name dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner headlines, whilst Coram denied all allegations, as they would and as is to be expected. Let me see. In other news, one of Combs' lawyers recently quit the rapper's forthcoming criminal sex trafficking case, writing, "Under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs, consistent with the ABA standards of criminal justice." That never looks good. That never looks good. Yeah, when your lawyer quits, never looks good. Nope. All right, let me see. What else do we got? Let's see. I think we got two more articles tonight. I actually like doing this. So, and yeah, let's see. Get rid of it. No, I think we have one to go. Let me see. What is this one? This is an old one. Let's go to this one. I guess we're on the last article. All right, coming up on an hour. It should be done right about an hour. The Who's Roger Daltrey. I've been told I'm going blind. Now, how ironic is that? And this is what he says. Again, I haven't read these. Thank God I've still got my voice. If I lost that, I'll go full Tommy. Exactly. Is he going to stop playing pinball too? I got a machine. He can come over and play with me. I just have to lead him there. That deaf, dumb, and blind guy sure sings a mean rock song. I know, that's bad. But hey, he said it, not me. He started it. The Who's Roger Daltrey has told a live audience that he has been informed that he is going blind, which is, again, joking aside, that's not good. That's not good. The rock legends were playing the first of two shows at London's Royal Albert Hall on Thursday, March 27th for the Teenage Cancer Trust when the frontman opened up about his condition. Look at all these rock stars. Ozzy, Parkinson's, fucking Roger Daltrey, going deaf, dumb, and blind. I'm just saying. There's a bunch of them out there. The problem with this job is you go deaf, he said from the stage, and now I've been told that I'm going blind. Referencing the band's 1969 rock opera title character, he added, "Thank God I've still got my voice." If I lost that, I'll go full Tommy. Well, if he goes blind and he goes deaf, he got me singing like this. I had to. I'm sorry, I can't help that. It's very, well, you know what? No one's canceling anybody anymore, so I don't give a shit. Not that I cared about that to begin with. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I don't even have this up on the screen. I've just been reading it. See, because I haven't looked. Here we go. Let's get rid of this. Let me bring that back up on the screen. See, I got ahead of myself. I was doing so good. There we go. There we go. I'm not going to read it again, but here's what it looks like for the viewers of the live stream and the rewatch. The podcast, they don't care. They're just listening. Where was I? There we go. The Who played a hits-packed show at the London venue with a second date to follow on Sunday night, March 30th. Daltrey founded the Teenage Cancer Trust concerts in 2000, but announced last year that he was stepping down as curator because he's not in good health. The Cure's Robert Smith to take the reins. Good for him. Good for him. Daltrey turned 81 earlier this month, and he told the Times last year that he has to be realistic about his age, claiming that he is on the way out. Yep. Would you go see an 81-year-old Roger Daltrey sing, though? I saw them at the Garden for the Who Are You tour without Keith Moon. Great show. Glad I saw them. But I wouldn't go see the remaining two. I mean, Pete Townsend's Pete Townsend. I don't know. The average life expectancy is 83. With a bit of luck, I'll make that, but we need someone else to drive things, he said about the decision to step down from the role. I'm not leaving TCT. I've been a patron since I first met the charity's founder, Dr. Adrian and Myrna Whiteson, more than 30 years ago, and that will continue, but I'll be working in the back room, talking to the government, rattling cages. Also last year, Daltrey gave an interview about the future of The Who, in which he said he was happy that that part of my life is over, before clarifying that ultimately any decision about calling it a day would have to be made alongside Pete Townsend. Townsend told NME last year that he is pretty sure there will be more shows by The Who in the future. I can't really see the point of making a big deal of last Who shows, apart from the fact that it might help sell a few tickets, he said. See? That's why he's always been, he marches to his own drummer. Always has, always will. Pete Townsend. I would go see Pete Townsend. Pete Townsend can tour by himself. He has enough material to do that. He doesn't need to do this with The Who. He could sing all the Who songs that he sang on, which was a good amount of them, and his solo work, which was very good. Let me see. When we started the last U.S. tour the year before last, some of the seats were not filled. An easy way to fill seats is to say, we're not coming back, and this could be the last set of shows, right? Kiss, Black Sabbath, blah, 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 blah. What I would prefer was that the band adjusted itself to the audience that wants to see it, rather than just saying, we need to fill arenas in order to go home with enough money to make the whole thing worthwhile, because they're all fucking, they are both loaded, so they don't really need the money. But then again, how much is too much? The story of the end of The Who is going to be when either Roger or I drop dead and can't function anymore on stage, which makes sense. Yeah. And that's it. That's it. 5 stories. 5 stories, 1 hour. Right on, 55 minutes. I like this little format here. It's interesting. It's informative, which is so this rabbit hole will continue. Maybe Jack might jump in every once in a while, but I think I'm going to go down this for a little while. I like doing this, like I had said earlier, a few times. And yeah, let me get rid of this. Let me come back on the screen. There I am. Well, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you like it, share it. If you didn't like it, well, thanks for listening for 56 minutes. Just short of an hour. I could keep talking. Well, April popped in. I didn't see that. Oh, geez, they're all falling apart. Yep. Nope. Honest, though. Yeah, he is honest. I mean, they're not in it for the money. The Who. And with that, again, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. I always appreciate your time. And to quote my favorite artist, Morrissey, when doing this show for you, the pleasure, the privilege is mine, and I'll be back next Thursday with